joining me. My name is Nyakio Njage na kama kawaida, this is Bunge, where we discuss the latest information you brought to our attention, and up here we discuss our opinions on the same. And today on Bunge, our usual culprit, Buffett.
Bunge.
Yeah. Buffett, this is Bunge. Karibu Bunge.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana.
Asante Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Yes, sir. Karibu sana ndani ya Bunge.
Asante sana.
Hii wiki kumewa.
Lazima moto wake hapa ni Kenya. Lazima momentum.
Kumewa.
Tempo.
Ina hiyo tempo. Kumewaka baba.
Kenya lazima drama. Karakasi hapa pale.
It's hot. It has been going around like it's summer for days.
Yeah.
Sindio? Sure. It's summer for days.
Yeah.
Na leo tunafungua hii chapter. Na discussion. Yenye ninajua italeta argument. Tunaongelea the Jowie Irungu case. Let me bring you up to speed. In 2018, Jowie Irungu was taken to court because he apparently murdered Monica Kimani. He slit her throat from ear to ear, if you recall that.
Okay.
Lately, the case has been reviewed. Na Jackie Maribe was set free.
Okay.
You know, you remember Jackie?
Yeah.
Jackie actually announced the news that morning.
Yeah.
Come on,
Nakumbuka vizuri.
You remember the way the story unfolded.
Everything.
But now, Jowie has been handed a death sentence, and apparently, kuna watu social media wanna feel Jowie is innocent. But before I even try and give my opinion, what's your opinion on the same?
Yeah, first of all, naweza sema you see, such a case could deal it's very, very tricky because you never know the forces behind it.
Fair point.
Honestly speaking.
Yeah.
Because people might think that Jowie Irungu is actually guilty, but unapata pia maybe ako innocent. Ni vile there's some external force yenye ana try ku maybe ku cover up.
Okay, speaking of that, immediately after Jowie was sentenced to death, kuna beshte yake ali come forward.
Yeah.
Akapost picture and akaeka caption.
Yeah, I remember.
The friend said that Jowie, please expose the people who are trying to kill Monica.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop taking credit for the whole event. But now as we speak, hadi account yake ya Instagram, it does not exist.
It's definitely, of course.
It does not exist.
Joe Jama, for now, it's like a ghost on social media.
Yes.
Because identity yake iko anonymous as we are speaking right now. So the reason as to why alikuwa na communicate na Jowie, at least alikuwa anataka Jowie at least akuwe na chance ya ku live so that he can be able to tell stories some other time when he's alive. Instead, unajua this thing is usually there's what you call ni kama assassins ukwa na code. The same way you girls the same way you girls say that tutakuwa bro code. Codes zinakuanga in every group ya watu. Una get? Kila msako na code zao. Wako ma Freemasons, wako watu wako kwa the religious sector, wako na kwa business sector, wako na sako kwa sector ya kumada wase. Kila msako kwa na code zenye wanafaa kwa adhere to. Failure to which there is it will lead to let me say immediate punishment. Kuna wana consequences. You get? So unapata maybe there is some agreement they made with somebody, the bigger force I'm talking about, aka the big guns. So unapata they had made an agreement and they were to maybe give this guy some sort of token to perform a certain activity, that is execution of
the activity of the death of Monica Kimani.
So agreement to kuwa hivi.
Yes.
I give you a certain token, you perform the job, but don't disclose the man behind the thing.
Go die.
You get?
Nisikize.
I will go die. Let me tell you one thing. And the reason as to why.
Go die.
That is just my opinion. That is just my opinion.
Jowie, if you're willing to die with someone else's secret, on someone else's blood, go die. I ain't even kidding. Go die. Mimi sijui mbona. I do not.
I haven't said that is the main reason as to why. Anahitaji anataka kuappeal.
I do not understand. I do not understand why hata kama uko na forces behind that you can bring to light. I don't understand why you're going to hide them. Because your life
not hiding. He's not a hiding.
You're arguing with Joey. His life is important.
I'm telling you.
You're gonna become somebody's prostitute.
I'm presenting facts to you. And you need to understand one thing. The moment you and me to make an agreement for you to be able to do so.
You turn against me.
I'm not turning against you. I am. Listen up. I'm not turning against you. What I'm actually trying to do is I'm trying to keep it a secret as we had agreed earlier before.
Listen up. In the line.
Not your life in the line.
Women's, you were a secret and
why did you make the decision at first?
That's my point.
If you are not ready to make such an agreement with me,
as Joey was ready to make that agreement and it was job.
Exactly. Na kulikuwa na vitu zinakuwa required of him to do and not to do.
So
he was required to do something and he was required not to disclose at the same time. You get? Okay,
I do not understand why we are feeling sorry for a murderer. Let's start from before even that was not my job. The reason why they went to court.
Do you have the evidence?
For the reason they went to court.
Do you have the evidence?
As far as koti imeangalia evidence basi. Koti ikaangalia ikasema this guy was on the wrong. That's all the right I need. Do you understand why the sovereignty of the country and its laws?
Mbona ameappeal
kidogo. Ya kuappeal doesn't mean anything. Mimi nilipeleka keti court.
Oh, appealing doesn't mean anything.
Acha nikuulize swali.
So the defendant has to seek for an appeal. It doesn't mean anything.
Allow me to ask you something. Even though we appeal this case,
you appeal whenever you feel that there is some unfair decision that has been made by the court, and you need some extra time to present.
I have a question.
Or rather to defend yourself before the court of law.
Hii kesi imekuwa since 20.
Unafikiria mtu ana appeal ndio anataka tu kuappeal. You think somebody just appeals because anataka because the decision was unfair.
New evidence, if at all there was any new evidence, it would have been presented to court. Sawa. If there is any more new evidence, that's what we are appealing on that's what we are appealing for.
And by the way, let me tell you one thing. Okay, allow me to say one thing.
The same evidence. Tulikuwa nayo Supreme Court. Tunaenda nayo. Are we going with the same evidence? Because tell me why we are appealing if we do not have any new information.
We are simply appealing because the defendant hasn't been satisfied by the decision that has been made by the court of law.
Exactly.
You cannot convict me of something that I'm not committed.
You are not satisfied with the decision.
Yeah.
But upon us sitting
because of my own reason, I've got some evidences to provide before the court of law.
Let Joey go.
Defend myself.
No. Let Joey
let me tell you one thing for free. That guy is not going to be killed. He's not going to be hanged.
He's not going to be hanged.
That is life imprisonment because let me tell you one thing.
Let him go to life in prison. Go die in committee.
You know something you got.
Go die in committee. You killed someone's daughter.
You're forgetting you also.
I am someone's daughter. I'm trying to imagine the pain my dad would have at this moment. I'm sorry, I lost my mom.
Okay.
But the pain my dad would have at this moment, asking the world to give justice to me as a kid who's been murdered. I'm not talking about
murdered by who?
Wrongfully murdered. I'm not talking about it was a moment thing. I'm not talking about we had argued before. I'm not talking of we had these issues before. I'm talking about the fact that we were in a relationship and the things we were arguing about got out of hand. I'm talking about someone was contracted to kill someone's daughter.
Who told you Joey was a contract killer?
Kidogo.
Who told you Joey was a contract killer? Do you have evidence?
Let's go back to the evidence. That's my point. Let's go back. Let's go back to the evidence.
He's not a hitman.
What did the evidence say? Johnny even had the time to steal someone's identity card. Ndiyo kuingia hiyo mjengo. That's premeditated murder. Ulikuwa hadi unajua unaingia aje kwangu. You are coming to murder me. You even know the kind of loopholes to take for you to kill me.
So you want to say it was premeditated?
That was premeditated murder. Na tuongee ukweli. Kama ilikuwa ile ya we were arguing and then akanigonga nikamgonga vibaya. That's arguable in court. But we are talking about someone who was sent to kill someone's daughter, slit her throat. Mimi sijui kwa nini mnaona hiki kitu kiwa ndogo. I want to repeat. Slit her throat from ear to ear. Tried to strangle her before. You know what that takes? Do you understand how much amount of energy it takes for you to be a king?
Sasa acha nikuulize swali.
Ngoza Yesu ushindwe. Allah shindwe.
Wanaume wangapi wameuawa hii country?
I don't care. I'm caring about the fact that a woman was killed and this is a justice we are fighting for. Mimi sijali wanaume wangapi wameuawa before.
Sasa wanaume
wameuawa before.
Kifo ya mwanaume imata.
Kifo ya mwanaume nini? Kifo ya mwanaume haimata aje?
Mwanaume okay, let me tell you something.
Providers. What do you mean kifo yake haimata?
That business mogul was killed and thrown into a septic tank by the Kikuyu lady.
Are you sure the court has not proven that there is no evidence that has been collected?
Hey, this is hakuna evidence.
Kidogo tu.
And there was a witness.
Kidogo tu.
Are you mad?
Haya, kuja hapa kwa history yote. Tuanzie hapa from the start to the end.
Let me tell you
what. Ndio imesema hii evidence iko wapi?
Sasa acha nikwambie kitu moja.
Koti imesema hiyo.
One thing that you need to understand is this. Okay, sir. Nimepata point yako. But nataka kuambia fact sasa. Ninasema okay, kuwa mimi si vizuri. I'm also against someone taking another man's life away or another woman's life away. I'm also against that because it's not fair. Everybody has a right to live, right?
Okay.
What I can tell you for free is that in as much as wase wanataka kusik justice for the girl alikuwa murdered na Jowie, unafaa pia understand apparently in the Kenyan constitution Kenya is considered what we call an abolitionist de facto.
Okay.
So when you talk about a country being considered as an abolitionist de facto, we're simply meaning that death sentence is among the country's constitution.
Yes.
But within the last 10 years, there's no sort of execution that has been done. Yeah, to the person.
The last person who did the execution was Moi. I think in 1982.
It was in 1982 there was a coup d'etat attempt. So the last two individuals to be executed in this particular country were Ezekiel Ochuka and Pancras Otenyo. Okay, because they were trying to overthrow the government. That is the coup d'etat of 1982. Yeah. So they were eventually hanged in 1987. And that was the last execution. Since then, up to date, there's nobody who has ever been executed. So the things that have actually been happening is what we call extrajudicial killings. You get? But for me, what I can say is that in as much as Jowie Irungu amekuwa sentenced to death,
si lazima
na ameappeal, we need to do this. You know, we like rushing. Ameappeal, ndio? Wacha tuone kutapatia. Ameappeal. Listen up. For now.
Stop. Let me tell you something as Kenyans. And I think tumefika mahali we are sympathizing with murderers.
Siko sympathize.
Relax. Hear me out. It is not our job to prove that Jowie is